Hi, today I am late and I didn't have time to prepare, but I have something that I would like to share, something that, it's a long-term project of mine, and I recently did some progress on this, and yeah, want to tell you more about this. Uh, this is a busy week because next week we have our company retreat, and I have to give a presentation on MentorCon about code idioms. So, three presentations to prepare, Uh, and but yeah, I had some time to do some work on this idea of a universal parser. What do I mean by universal parser? I mean a parser with two characteristics. First of all, a parser that can tackle more than one language, providing a uniform API. So I can maybe parse, I don't know, Java and JavaScript or PHP and RPG, and get results that are homogeneous so that I can process all of them in the same way. But I also mean that I would like to be able to call this parser from multiple languages. So I would like to be able to invoke this parser from Kotlin or from Python or from TypeScript or from C#. And all of this may sound a little bit crazy, but I think that it makes sense to be able to process multiple languages because our code bases are made of multiple languages. So it's, at the very least, you have one main language and some languages that you use to define scripts or data. So you may have, I don't know, an application written in Java, but then you use Gradle that could be configured through Groovy or Kotlin. Maybe you have some YAML configuration file. Maybe you have a front end in JavaScript, HTML, CSS. So our code bases have multiple languages. So it makes sense that we are able to process all of them and process all of them with a uniform API so that we can analyze also the interdependencies between all of them. And it makes sense to have this parser usable or invocable or callable from many languages because it's a lot of work to build these parsers, and different users may want to use them from different languages. There are companies that are more at ease with Java, companies more at ease with C#, and so on. So if we do the investments of build these parsers, we want to make them usable from multiple languages. Now, how all of these can be made possible? Well, at the core of the solution, we have LionWeb and Starlazo on top. So LionWeb is this interchange format for language engineering, and we can use it in this way. Maybe I can show you some code. The Java parser adapter basically invoke Java parser, an open source parser for Java written in Java, and convert the result into Lionweb format. And this is rather easy to do. Now, I will not bother you with the code, but basically these adapters are a couple of hundreds of lines, so something that is reasonably straightforward to do. So you can get an existing parser. In this case, I'm using Java parser, but I've done other experiments using tree-sitters, for example. So you can take many parser and adapt them so that they can produce a result that is exportable to LionWeb. And inside this test, I run it, I parse the code of Java parser itself. Now, for the sake of this example, I just limit to 10 files, and I produce in the end a zip with the result provided by Java parser in line web format and then zipped. I do that for convenience of this demo, but in reality, I could send these results directly to another process, or directly from here, I could invoke the line web repository and save the results directly in the repository. Right now, I created a zip that I then uploaded here in this repository. I just took the zip, drag and drop it here, quite easy. And here I have some of my files. For example, let's see, maybe this file is a little bit big because this thing is not reacting. And yeah, this UI, it's not super efficient. And I think, well, you know what, I will just take another file. So now you can see the excitement of having live presentation. I will pick another file. Yeah, more manageable, apparently. And I have an AST, so the information that are present in the file produced by Java parser have been mapped here. Seems a very simple file. Something that I'm not doing here is populating the relative path, so we cannot know the original name of the file, but we have all of its content, and for example, here I have a constructor, and constructor for the class operator, passing one parameter. No, it means that it's not a var parameter, but it's a parameter called code representation of type string, modifier public. And so I have all the information that was present in the original file. I can see there was, for example, a package declaration. So I'm declaring something in package bar foo. Probably this is some Java file from some test. There is an enum declaration. This enum declaration, well, when I click on a node, it brings me to the middle of the node, but if the node has children, it's may not be the perfect place. So I'm declaring an enum called operator. And what else? I'm also declaring a class called binary exp. So this is the ST of parsing this file. And you see 200 lines of code. I could take an existing parser that has been used by many, many projects, it's been maintained for years, is very mature, and adapt it to work with LionWeb. Now I can use it in the same way that I can use any other parser compatible with LionWeb. And I can access this AST, for example, from LionWeb Python or from LionWeb TypeScript and so on. In this case, the communication between the process that invoked Java parser runs in the JVM, and we could communicate with another project using as a mediator, if you want, the LionWeb repository. So the parser running on the JVM take the AST, convert it to LionWeb format, store it in the LionWeb repository. Anybody else can access the LionWeb repository and get the AST. So that is one way. We could also have direct communication, exposing some HTTP endpoint during inter-process calls, and transfer the AST in LionWeb format and deserialize it from LionWeb format on the other side. So this is just an experiment, but I think it's interesting the fact that it's so easy once you have the infrastructure provided by LionWeb to make more components compatible with LineWeb, and moving forward this idea of universal parser. So a single parser that can handle multiple languages, because basically it's a wrapper for existing parsers, and that can be accessed by multiple languages, all the ones that are supported by LineWeb. So I don't know if it's a little bit vague or too large goal, but I would be curious to hear if you have any feedback. For today, that's it. So thank you very much, and have a great day. Bye.